DJ Longhair here in the house. What is good, everyone? Wow, dude. I wonder how many more Manic Mondays we're going to experience, because we got 2 in a row. I know they need to fill the news cycle coming up to the awesome previews for the next Foundation set. So I know all y'all are excited for that. But honestly, like, I don't know, man. I'm waiting. Let's have another Manic Monday. What's going to happen this Monday? Let's say hi to some peeps here. Cave, J, Cowboy Dan, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. How you doing today, people?
Boop, boop.
Woot, woot. Yeah, doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good.
All right. I'm trying to wake up Naughty Bot. It's being slow. But who's not slow and is super awesome, first time on the channel, and thanks for joining us on the live chat on Tuesday. We got the first Jake. Welcome to the show, buddy. How you doing?
Doing really good. Happy to be here. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Lots to talk
Oh
about.
yeah. It's always awesome to come on, vent, or even hype, whatever, bro. So always fun here on MTG Roundtable. Well, welcome to the show. We got Super Fast Tortoise. Oh man,
What's
I had your thing
up?
set up too.
I know. I'm excited. I'm excited for today's topic.
Yes. Oh, here we go. Found it.
Super fast.
Sorry, I had to blow the dust off that. It's been a while.
I know, dude. Exactly. Speaking of Mono, how are you doing, buddy?
Wasn't gonna miss this show, and I still owe you a idea, I think, for my walk up to the plate music. I'll take ideas from the peanut gallery, and the dumber the better.
Nice. Yeah, I got to watch some of the copyright stuff now. But hey, that's what's beautiful about AI, is I don't have to worry about it. Well, as far as music goes. But yeah, TCGDude. What's up, bro?
Hey. Glad to be here.
Nice. And here's yours.
Give me a sleeve.
That's great. All right. Today, let's say hi to some peeps in chat. Brian Giles, I see you, Brad.
Have no fear, students. Because I am here.
Who else we got? We got Michael Subacker. I have to make yours, so that's why I've been lagging, bro. Cracking Jank, bro. What's up, man? Oh, you're going to Vegas, right? Yeah. Next Thursday, we got to get a head count, because I know how much stuff I have to bring for all the goodies that people have won or bought into battles and stuff. So hand delivered in Vegas. Oh baby, hell yeah! All right, so today, yeah, hand delivery is best. All right, so we all know what happened on Monday. Following true with Manic Monday. The first one was the bans, and now we have WOTC taking over the rules committee. So I guess we could read it, but I mean, if you haven't seen this yet, I'm sure you've seen this all over Facebook, all over online. Tons of people are covering the topic because it's a pretty huge topic. So basically, what we gather from this is the rules committee quit, basically, because they were getting death threats. Which I don't condone death threats. I think that's pretty lame. Yes, you lost a lot of value, but I mean, it's huge. The cards banned were, around for a while. I mean, Nadu, whatever on Nadu, but Dockside, Extortionist, you have the Manic Crypt, and of course the Jeweled Lotus that was specifically made for Commander. I'm pretty sure we'll argue a little bit about that as well as far as ban goes. But the first thing I want to kind of address is the pros and cons of WOTC now running the rules committee. Let's go ahead and start off with the new guy and pick on him. How you doing first? Are you ready?
Yeah, Jake, what do you think?
What do I think about Wizards of the Coast running the rules committee? Honestly, I think it's actually going to be okay. I could see it going either way. This could be horrific, but the people that are running it, I think they've shown pretty good work in the past. They had the interview with Aaron Forsyth and Gavin Verhey, and I don't know. I generally think they're going to try to be a little bit careful with the format, at least initially. So I don't think we're going to see anything crazy right out of the gate. The 4 brackets, I think this is a shoot from the hip, and we'll see this change a lot by the time it actually gets rolled into the final version. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. It is a big change. It'll be interesting to see what happens. If I was to stake out a harder position, I think this could be really positive, because one of the issues that we've had is this constant confusion over where the rulings are coming from. Is this a community-driven thing? Is this Wizards? Is there conversations happening, behind the curtain about whether companions should be included or whatever? And now we don't have to wonder. It's all coming from Wizards. So, like it or hate it, it's a little bit more consistent.
Well, only one scapegoat rules them all, right? Which we always blamed WOTC or Hasbro anyways. So, now we can be directed and just, whereas we were directed and just before. So really no difference. Yeah. Superface.
Hi. Hey, my opinion. My thought.
Hello there. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So my opinion. Let me move my drink a little off screen so it's not taking up screen. My opinion on the whole.
And you guys complained about the circles, dude. Come on. Yeah. Look, bam. Look, no drink in the show.
Wow.
Yay. Okay.
So my thing is, it's still an iffy subject, but I think it's going to be okay in the general public of ideas, because we got Gavin Verhey, who really loves the format. I don't think he wants to ruin it for everybody. He's the public face. I think it's good that they did it, because a company can be more secluded and secretive about who's on the BNR list, not list, but on the rules committee, and they can protect people better. And I hope they do the right thing constantly. So we can always hope they're going to do the right thing constantly. And I just read an article saying they're not going to be greedy with it. Their goal is not to be greedy. And right now, that's just face value word, and I think it's going to be something to hold on to.
Yeah. Hey, Hillbilly, how you doing, bud? Let me know if you want an invite. Same at Vestibule. Just shoot me a message in the Discord. Yeah, man. Honestly, I don't feel there's much of a difference because WOTC's kind of dictated from the sidelines forever. So. Hell, they've been in conversation about the fast mana concern, and I've even seen videos about people saying we should ditch some of the fast mana because it's not casual anymore. They're forcing CEDH into your casual play as well. They've been talking about this for over a year, since July 2023 with WOTC. So WOTC said, "Oh hell no, we have plans for these cards for the next few sets." And as soon as they didn't plan the reprint, bam, go ahead, ban it. Like, bruh. Made sure to include the Lucy pack, that's Lost Caverns, and, of course, the Commander Masters collectors, which, even with the ban, still, it's not a bad value that you got out of the box, but still kind of just, really timing. So I get the negative and the positive on this. I don't know. They should have set it up better, maybe. Maybe hinted that, hey, we're looking into this, like they do with regular bans. So people keep thinking the One Ring will hit that list. It won't until they lose the licensing. And Bob says, I agree with Bob now, they won't clear it out until they've cleared out most of the warehouse. Hey, there's a Hillbilly. How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, Billy.
Awesome.
Now we can start the morning show.
Right. Well, dude, it was this show, then it became part of your morning show, and now you guys are back, sort of, at least for this one. So, hey, cool, whatever. The more the merrier. Mono, how you doing, bud?
I think so. We did a few videos on this. So, there's our channel, which is Mad Magic TV at Mad Magic Show, and we put up a thumbnail called Hostile Takeover, and we got a ton of comments on the video. It was only 5 minutes long. You know, I just did a monologue about it, you know, explaining after it came out that day. But to stay on topic of what you're asking, like, do we think them running it good or bad? And I think I'm going to kind of go with the majority here so far. I don't think that Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast are a bunch of idiots, right? I just sometimes disagree with their agenda. And I was getting some shade in the comments saying that I can tend to lean towards doom and gloom on things like this. But I think the idea of having the multi-tiers could work. And we'll probably talk about that a little bit more, right? You know, about what that looks like. And those are separate questions, so stay with this. I think that their announcement is extraordinarily rushed. Not to try to shout grammar police, but if you kind of like really read the words that they had and the nature of it, it almost just sounded like we got to put something out there, you know? And so should they have taken it over, and the way it was taken over, and what'll it mean? Or like, what, we can talk about that, I guess, you know, later on the show, but you know, it's not gonna be doom and gloom. And I think you know, with this new change, and we'll see what that is. And also, you know, Commander, I think no matter what Wizards really ever wants to do, truly now seems to be, at least for the moderate term, entrenched as this, you know, social kitchen table type of format. Nothing against competitive. I think it's great. I have tournaments for 100 grand, but I just think that it's designed to be this eternal format and everything else. And so kind of like no matter where they go with it, and if they really try to make it something different, you know, I don't think it just won't take. So, and I think that, again, they're not idiots and they'll understand that. And I think that Commander maybe in 3 to 5 years will look completely different from what it does today. And you know, again, we can talk about what that might be, but I agree with what others have said. They're going to probably have some kid gloves for a little while, and I think they'll do all right with it.
Yeah, I think they'll have kid gloves for a few months. I mean, the market's in disarray right now. It's funny. Everyone's freaking out. Oh, it's going to drop to 0. But because they keep on selling, it actually is almost back up to normal price on some of these cards. So it's like Jewel Lotus and Manic Crypt, people are trying to buy them out. They really think that they're going to flip this crypt immediately. I doubt it. I really do. TCGDude.
So there's a lot to, you know, flesh out with this one, but I'll try and keep it basic. The other day I was at the store mentioning this, you know, to somebody casually, and they're like, well, what's the issue? You know, companies like Call of Duty make their own rules, you know, and there's no issues when things change over on their end, you know. Well, you know, one of the things that's different is that Magic sells packs that are randomized, which some could, you know, compare to loot boxes, which is, you know, has its own gray area topic to talk about. But as a whole, though, I really do feel that the people currently employed at Wizards are genuine stewards of the game and want to see the longevity of it, and wouldn't, you know, undermine the game intentionally. You know, they may be thumbed down by management to maybe market a product a certain way, maybe even design one pitch card, like example, the One ring, you know what I'm saying? That had to be the way that it was. And it was a success. So the future, I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, exactly. I like it. Yeah, they're all saying 5-tier on it. Hey, Hellwheeler, how you doing, on? Good to see you. Rules, ain't no rules. That's right. Playing
there's your tier 5, and we're playing for Annie. Yeah, absolutely counts.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Bring back the Annie cards. Let's say Chaos what was the Chaos Orb? Was that what it was? I forget. Yeah, shred up your cards. Let's go.
You know, way back when, I was thinking about this for like a tier 5, and you may have an order for these things, DJ, but since he brought up the Annie, they could even bring those cards back. I used to play in tournaments, and basically everyone would, as part of their admission fee, would get a booster pack. And then that booster pack would get shuffled by your opponent, put down, cut, and then you would flip a card over, and that was the Annie, right? So instead of having like an Annie from your deck, There was
Right.
still like a nanny in for every round, and that was like fun. You know, like there was like something more at stake without like, oh my god, you're gonna take my savannah. You know, so
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. Maybe they bring some nanny back, but anyway, go ahead.
Well, it's another rule set. I mean, it'd be fun, but yeah. Hillbilly. It's been a minute. What are you thinking about WOTC taking the reins?
Well,
Oh yeah, and everyone, cheers! Yay! I
Sure.
figured with all the negativity, I needed to be peachy. So there you go.
I ain't getting it. I got water. Cheers. Well, when I think about the WOTC taking Commander over, I mean, it didn't affect me because I don't have any of the cards. But
Yeah.
I can look at it at everybody's side though, because those cards was worth money, and I can understand players getting mad about the cards getting banned. However, if you stop, think, not get your pennies in a wad, then you'll understand. Hey, I'm messing up. If we go after these people, threaten these people, they might turn it over to WOTC. Then we might be screwed. And dag blanket, that's what happened, man. And the only thing I can say is hope they're happy because the game might get better. And again, it may not. We don't know yet until we find out what WOTC's going to do.
Yeah.
So there's another comparison that I was thinking about while y'all were talking. Commander is supposedly a community-driven format, right? So there's no one person that owns it, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's Magic. So I don't know if any of y'all played Halo online, Halo 2, Halo 3, but with
Never heard of it.
yeah, but with custom lobbies, people made all sorts of different game types. One of them being zombies, which as you know, became a mainstay playlist in every entry moving forward once it got popularized. Commander is still Magic at the end of the day, which is WOTC's game, so it's their ball, their court. We're just playing,
True.
Yeah.
I'd say the only thing that we need to keep in mind, though, is that the health of the game is not always what players are looking for, right? Even if the ban lists were good, there was a huge backlash. So even if Wizards is keeping the game healthy, there's a lot of people that are going to be upset with the decisions they make no matter what.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah, and as far as like Jeweled Lotus goes, the argument's been there since day one. The committee's been anti Jeweled Lotus. They've said cards should not have been made. I mean, it's WOTC's own mess, and they made it, and now they're completely stuck with it. Jeweled Lotus should not have been made. Okay, fine. But you made a card specifically for Commander that you can't even use in other formats, unless you, I guess, cube. But still, like, I am kind of with that argument. Like, I've had one or two. I've sold them each time, but it can definitely, if you have a 3-drop Commander, is coming out turn one, it could be pretty rough. And people like, oh, but we want fast games. Well, that's still kind of,
And,
I could see it.
Yeah, these people that was able to just hand the game over to WOTC, they shouldn't have been threatened. People shouldn't have been threatening them at all. That's why WOTC got their hands on it.
But it's the internet, though. We joked about this TCGDude. Like, we're not legit yet. We haven't got any death threats. What the hell? They've been in public face for a while now with their own social media, and then on top of that being part of the committee. So some people are eyeing them like a hawk. But yeah, death threats, dude, nah. As that is a justification for them taking over, I think they were going to take over anyway. So I think it's more, to me, my little conspiracy little brain, which I don't know where the hell that is, but my little tinfoil hat thought process, I'm just thinking, seems too convenient. Sure, death threats, okay. Did it happen? Probably. doesn't wrap the whole community though. You know, every community is going to have that one, you know, psycho or lame. You know.
I think that it's very important for people to remember also that when it comes down to an IP, that you want to be able to trust the holder of the IP that they're going to do something right. Even though Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, they're corporate, you know, and it's hard to trust a company for a lot of people. You're not going to take my IP and that I prize so dearly that I play with and change it. People are worried about things like what Disney did to the Acolyte happening to Wizards, and you know, ruining their IP that they love so much.
Right.
So I think a lot of people are worried about that. But you need to trust the holder of the IP that they're going to do what's right for the property.
Yeah. Exactly. And, you know, not to come to death threats, but yeah, this affected a lot of people. I feel bad for those that had, you know, hoarded a bunch hoping to flip it. And, you know, death threats aren't acceptable, period.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard
But, I mean, you have to know that's part of the game, though, as you get bigger and more famous or are currently famous. Like,
Right.
fortunately, it is commonplace for that. So I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying it happens, and it's not the whole community that's doing that. But they might hit you up and give you negative comments or call you names or whatever. I don't think that's necessarily a death threat, but you know, either way, it's not fun, man. You make the decision for the good of the game, in most cases, and everyone comes after you.
I mean, ultimately, it's up to them if they want to step away.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
well within their right for whatever reason. If these death threats push them over the edge, that's fair play.
Yeah, I started looking at
I told a lot of people.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Oh,
it's like what I told.
Oh God.
It's like I told a lot of people. Magic the Gathering is not life. It's not going to affect your life like paying your bills is affecting your life. You know. Like if you're spending too much money on Magic, where losing money on Magic is like paying your bills, you're probably doing it wrong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right, there you go. So Brian actually took his he actually went to WOTC with a former.
You go, Brian.
Yeah, you go, Brian. Hell yeah.
Oh.
But yeah,
you know,
I've heard
I've heard it said that you can always judge your success by the quality of your enemies. And so I guess if I only had any one negative thing to say about the RC is like, sorry, your enemies were a bunch of 19-year-old scrubs still in their bedrooms surrounded by a bunch of crusty socks, giving, you know, probably made that way from creeping on Olivia's Twitter feed because, you know, damn. But, you know, I was looking a little bit more into some of, you know, the RC members and stuff. And I think like, you know, JL, like, he got like a wife and a kid. He was doing his part-time. And, you know, I think part of probably what we were looking at is, you know, like people say like nothing really happened in a few years. And I've had a little kid before, you know, and you know, it's like, so babe, sorry, I got to build a deck for 3.5 hours. Can't help out with the kid. Oh, sorry, I'm putting together a spreadsheet over the meta of the past 150 tournament wins. Oh, I got to do 20 hours of tournaments this week. You know, so on and so forth. Like I'm empathizing with him, right? And eventually then you're part-time, you're not getting paid. You took this over from somebody else's brainchild. You do the best you can. And then death threat starts showing up. You're like, what am I doing here? You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see how he was saying like, take this away, you know, or please help, or, you know, do these other things. And he put out a statement. You know, like, I can't defend or protect myself, my family. Those are like crazy, right? So those are pretty vulnerable words, and we're all entitled to our own words. So I guess I'll take them at that. If I had to guess though, I think there's probably one or two people at least over at Wizards going, well, this kind of panned out now, didn't it? Not that they necessarily, I'm not remotely even suggesting that like they tried to make this happen, although Pinkerton's anyone, but you know, it's our tinfoil hat. Like I'm not thinking that, but I don't think that WOTC had this happen as we were like, crap, we got to take over this format. And by the way, let's be clear. Yeah. They didn't say take it over. You've got that announcement behind you. They say now that we have taken over the ownership of the format in that announcement.
Yeah.
Like they really jumped right out on that. Like they were going to wait a second to get their claws.
Thank you, Lord Pepsi. Some folk that death threat probably okay. Well, I won't say the last part. We has nothing to do with Magic. That guy. Although the ones where they have all the presidents play Magic, I forget. I think it's SG Ninja or something. Go watch that. That stuff's hilarious, bro. But anyway, Mono turning into anti-Bob into Bob. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, right.
Which Bob? You talking about game Bob?
Yeah, gaming Bob.
Yeah.
MTG gaming Bob.
I don't know. Is that
Bob.
a good thing or a bad thing? I don't think Bob's quite well spoken, but you know, go ahead and disabuse me.
Fight
Shut
words
my
up, boy.
face.
No, he's gonna turn into Super Bob. That's the goal. Yeah, Cthulhu, what's up, man? How you doing? That's right. Tinfoil hats. I mean, that's all we got right now. Speaking of tinfoil hats, the tier system that they suggested, obviously not really formulated yet. Gavin came on. We watched live with TCGDude and I, and Bob came in at the end. That was super fun. Talking about what might happen, but nothing is set in stone yet on this tier system. However, the market is going crazy on a lot of cards. Especially though, like, what is the deal with Fastbond? Like, I don't think they're gonna unban that. Like, I don't get it. Like, why are people?
I think people forgot it existed.
Yeah,
it got mentioned once and people jumped all over it. There's just not a lot of them.
I think I got one recently. This might be it. It wasn't that much. It's like $12 maybe. But are you asking, like, do we think that cards will be unbanned? Is that what you're kind of getting at, DJ?
What's that?
Are you kind of getting at, like, do we think the cards will start being unbanned with the tiers?
Well, okay. Down the road, yes. However, we're talking they're probably going to bring it into 5 or 6 format, because people really do still want to be competitive in Commander, but the fact that it's all under one roof makes it a little difficult. Now, Lord, I can't accept this. I can. CAN. WOTC coddled excessively sensitive emotional player base. There is a lot of course. Not surprising the same base that reacted harshly. Yes, sir. I don't like the tier system because I have one level 4 card in my deck, so it's a level 4 deck. I think they'll probably rework it, but then they start explaining combos, and then like this combo, like Thassa's Oracle by itself isn't that horrible, but in combination with another card, it breaks the game. So I think they are going to have certain cards be like weird like that. And they said it doesn't make sense just because you have Mana Crypt in your deck. It's now a tier 4, but the rest is crap.
They're asking for feedback, right?
Yeah.
I think as we were kind of ribbing, we already lost his comment there for a second. He filed a complaint with Wizards, right, Brian? Not necessarily that, but we should look. Like, is there a place yet? You asked for feedback. Where do we do that, right? And so they should really start to open that up, because that's not. He's not wrong, and that was something they said in the announcement too, where he's like, "Now imagine if I show up and it was." I'm like, what are you talking about right now? As I'm reading this thing of like the RC's dead, and he's out imagining future scenarios. I'm like, this letter is weird. Okay, right? Like, if you all haven't read it yet, like, just actually go and read it. But I would say that, yes, if it stayed that way, where like you have one high-powered card, and that whole thing is tier 4, that's not really going to work. People like to show off some of the cool cards that they get, and something else has come up. But there's like a Canadian Highlander or something like that, right? That works on like a point system or something. So
they specifically mentioned the point system and said they don't want to go in that direction because 3 cards that are worth 8 points is not equivalent to 24 cards worth 1 point, right? So they are focused more on the power banding of the overall deck. And one of the things they mentioned in their live stream is that they're developing a full online platform where you can put your deck list in and have it generate the points. So I imagine there's something more complicated, like what they do with Brawl decks, to kind of bracket them into power levels, at least in their vision.
Right. That would definitely be interesting to see. This definitely interesting to see and see the follow through on
Hello,
that.
Mr. Billy.
Hey-o.
I mean, really, all those tiers, they don't make no sense to me. Don't make no
Well,
sense.
The tiers?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, basically, like, so tier 4 is the highest, right? So that would be your tutors. I would think your dual lands, your you know, big mana rocks. They said that one of the most broken cards in Commander, of course, is the Soul Ring. Is the fastest, cheapest. Get more money for your one payout. That is tier 1 because it comes with every precon, right? Just like Command Tower. Okay.
Like you're getting ready to say tier 4.
Yeah, I know it should be tier 4, right? Yeah, but no, your tutors, your other fast mana cards will go there. Not cultivate, not those. But yeah, tutors and then some high power cards.
I assume it's also where you're
which
going to see like all the stasis and smothering tithe and just unfun.
yeah, that would
stuff.
be tier 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, but if you have one Ristic Study, it'll be a tier 4 deck. That just seems. I mean, I agree with him, but at the same token, like, that isn't like one card really. It makes it tier 4, and like, you have an updated precon. Okay, I put in one Manic Crypt. Now it's tier 4. Oh, what's up, Cool Brain? How you doing?
I think it's going to be a little more complicated than that basic scenario they listed, but they're going to have to definitely figure it out. Like I really think Commander Salt has a good system rating your deck. Also, the Commander Deck Power Level Calculator on Magic the Gathering's CardsRealm.com does pretty good. They differ a lot on power levels, but they really read your synergies in deck. And I think Wizards needs to go into those kind of sites, figure what they're looking at and how they're looking at it, because they're really good at adjusting deck. It's what I use. Because I have a deck. Because if they don't, and they're going off this little system, if this card's in your deck, I have a tier 1 deck that's going to beat people in tier 4 decks because it makes a player lose by turn 4 like a third of the time. So they're going to have to figure that out. Synergies, combos, all that stuff that works into the deck. They're going to have to do a lot of research into it, and I believe that's what they're going to do. Because it's like.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't think there's any way that they can make a power level estimate like this that people won't game.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
people
have to approach it honestly.
Stop either way. They can meticulously do it, which, they have to come from a low effort point, because as soon as, Hasbro hears that they have to invest in a new project, they're like, no. What about all the other ones that are making, how is that going to make us money? So I think that's the other concern too with WOTC taking over. Because they'll have a new set and they put out a power card to push the set, it might be Manic Crypt 2, maybe you pay 1 for 3 and take 4 damage instead or something, they're going to come up top. They're going to make a card that's, 4 commander that will be just as bad, and we'll probably need a banning later, but it probably won't see a ban until after they stop printing the set. You know what I mean?
That's something I think we're really looking at. Where will this all land? We're going to see these tiers get made in a way where Wizards has the ability to release cards and then lean into a certain tier with tournaments and prizes to push cards. Now, look, I get cynical about that stuff from time to time, right? Because this is a sandbox game. You should see what the players sort of want to do. But that's why I think we're going to see, at least in some tiers, a ton of unbans, except maybe outside of the reserve list because there's no reprint equity there. But like Manic Crypt Jewelers, I would say on tier 4, whatever, it's 100% coming back. Like, all of these things will eventually, it might not be for 6 months, a year, 2 years, but all of these cards, Grizzlebane, you're going to see any of these things that they can go ahead and grab a lot of money on. They will all come back in at least one of these tiers for sure.
Yeah. It will it happen immediately though? No. They're gonna they have the safety gloves on right now. They're not going to do nothing for a minute. So everyone freaking out right now. I mean, it's good to be ahead of the curve and spec your way to money, sure. But honestly, I don't think they're going to reverse this decision anytime soon, because they might. What the other tactic that we're thinking that they're going to do is they have the power now to ban and unban, and it's part of the thing. Corporate's going to go, oh, we heard that this card used to be money. We need to reprint that. So unban it, and we're going to put it out in the next set. It makes sense, but at the same time, it's just like, oh, bro, whoa, who's that? Anyways, yeah, man.
Yeah, hence why I'm a big fan of the idea. I'm a big fan of it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, everybody just
go ahead.
freeze?
My thought process was kind of. Can you hear me?
Okay. So, no, my internet's kind of janky right now. No, I'm a big fan if they were to take CEDH and made that its own format with its own ban list. And this is my thought and opinion on it. And make Commander with its own ban list and just have them do two separate formats. If people want to cross play, knock themselves out, but having two different formats, they can have Jeweled Lotus and Mana Crypt and CEDH, like what people are wanting to see more in Commander right now. And Commander can be its like soft, light format of CEDH, where it has a heavier ban list. It'll just be definitive. And my hopes, fingers crossed, they'll sanction CEDH. Actually have that at sanction one. They're already supporting 1v1 Commander at a store level, and that's what they're talking about right now. So, that's what they were talking about before all this happened. So that'd be exciting to see that roster up and actually getting points for playing the game of Commander and CEDH.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they kind of were trying to make it into a tournament setting. And, as soon as money involved or, something somewhat decent for price support, all the CEDH decks come out anyways. So,
then they got a different market
or something. Yeah.
Then they got a different market. If they were to make CEDH its own thing, they could actually design CEDH decks to sell people.
No,
I don't
that's
like
what I was
that.
saying before. That's what I said the other day is that, dude, just like they had the novice, the beginner, novice, and expert level, they can definitely go into that. And then, that tier 4 deck, guess what? It's going to be a $100 to $200 deck because, hey, it has 2 big cards in it. But they don't pay attention to the secondary market. So, what do I know?
Far North has a great comment over there if you want to stick that up in the center.
Yo.
Because that's an ancillary thing. If we wanted to look at one of the most majorist thingies, talk about bad grammar, that could come out of WOTC taking over.
Yeah.
Many tournaments for substantial prizes allow proxies, right?
They do.
And Wizards cannot sanction the stealing of their IP, right? So
yeah,
we were kind of talking to my partner Thal. We're primarily, we talk a lot of relate everything to finance, right, in our videos, and so we were just like, I think they're just going to kind of be quiet about this for a while, and then a tournament's going to happen with a big prize. Someone's going to win, and someone's going to have a screenshot. They're going to stick it up on social, and it's obviously going to be half his board is going to be like janky proxies from an inkjet printer or something, and then they're going to have to take a stand, on doing that. But that's definitely like and I like some of your opinions. It seems like this is a place where Wizards can really get painted into a corner between killing the format, and really saying, look, we can't say you can all just keep stealing from us.
Yeah. Well, and then when they do, it's
at the same time, I've seen stores. I've seen stores do a thing with tournaments, especially like Legacy, where they give you a dollar amount of proxies you're allowed in the deck in tournaments. They're like, okay,
going to a point system,
like Guys Cradle. Yeah, that's kind of like a point system, but you're like, because they know not everybody has all the cards for Legacy, right? Well, not everybody has all the cards for CEDH. Well, except my friend. I have a friend who builds CEDH decks. Wish it had his income. But like they're like $600. You're allowed $600 worth of proxies. That's how much money you can put in your deck that's not really in your deck. But they let them play, and it's legal in their format. But I've seen stores like this First Turn Games on the other side of Cedar Rapids here. They actually banned Soul Ring from the format in their store. So stores will do things according to their player base.
Yeah, but now if it's
no.
brought in house, Wizards can't allow that. They have to set specific rules for all of their tournaments.
Right.
They load
And
over
then,
the LGSs.
right. But I mean, they pretty much like their whole judge system, which I won't go into. But you know, they distance themselves from that. There was too many internal problems, legal problems too. So like they just decided they're not going to cover or even do the judge program necessarily, and leave that up to the stores. So they still have the judge program, but they're not compensated from WOTCs necessarily. I'm not sure what they've done recently, but I know that that was a big ordeal too, because you know these judges were basically employees and they weren't employees, you know. So anyways, the store's responsibility now is to have a knowledgeable person on hand, and you know, even official judges, and they're like, well, wait, is there official judges now because you killed the program? Like, oh, what? I don't know, man. I don't know, but they leave that all up to the store. And if it's an official tournament, though, for that WotC's putting stuff into, you know, yeah, they're going to demand rules like enforcement of the proxies and stuff, so on and so forth. So really, it's just like, I don't know. You've had for Commander, it's been kind of a wasteland per se, where the rules are, you know, rule 0 was supposed to meant and rule all, but you know, people have problems with that too. So it's just like, what are they going to do for this make it like a more official format? Because the only way they can push the secondary market is if they do start official tournaments for EDH. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think the secondary market needs any help for EDH.
Well, no, what I'm saying though is to drive up. Okay, you're right. They don't acknowledge secondary market. My bad. But what I'm saying is they have to have some form of reprint equity. So they, you know, they got to acknowledge something.
They'll be doing big tournaments. Oh my gosh, right? Are you kidding me? Commander's the cow. This fan created format that wasn't their ideas. They're money cow for the whole, you know, for all Wizards of the Coast. Well, and frankly, almost Hasbro. It's not like other things don't make money, but I can't imagine that you're not going to start seeing big prize tournaments come up or whatever to get this going. Someone's going to pay attention. Although Hasbro's cheap. I mean, you can't reprint judges, right? That's probably why they're not sanctioning them anymore, because you can't make a nickel on it. But I think that can happen. But there's also plenty of entities that already exist, right, that travel around and do these big tournaments. So we just had one year in Manic Woods gave away a time twister for the top prize. You know, as long as they keep doing that, you know, you can say whatever rules you want. If the time twister is a prize, people will grouse about it, but they're going to sell out.
Oh, yeah.
20 years ago, some stores for Vintage and Legacy, some stores used to do $20 tournaments, and you could proxy up to 15 cards for $1 more entry cost, and that was added to the prize pool. That's kind of cool.
Huh.
Yeah, the death of 10 card proxy Vintage was the death of paper Vintage in my area.
Well, what's that?
We used to have paper Vintage every week, but the rules was 10 card proxy. As soon as Wizards put the kibosh on that, it went away.
Oh, yeah.
Well, see, at the store level, they can do the proxy thing more easily than you can going to like RPTQ. You know, if they did, I don't think they would, but if they did CEDH RPTQs and stuff like that, then that would be all cards have to be real. But at local game stores, they can, you know, get around the rules a little because it's their own store and they're the ones guiding it. And they're the ones who are coming in, because like even like my store, the store I shop at, my awesome Cooley new store. It's Cooley's name of the store. One day I'll be sponsored by them. Watch it. But anyways, but like they don't have every card you want, you know, and they want to hold sanctioned tournaments. They want to hold F&M. They have a lot of cards, but they don't have every card you're going to be able to find for the format. So they know that some people are going to have to order online. They're going to have to buy some of their cards other places right now. They're just building up a store. Well,
yeah,
proxies are going to be allowed for certain things.
Yeah.
You know, and Jake, if we get back just for a second, I just want to make sure I understood you right. Did you say you said back in the day some LGS was doing tournaments that allowed proxies and like Wizards became tuned in, they were doing that, and they like reached out to the store and said like, "You knock it off, or you're done." Like,
It wasn't even a reach out to the store; it was a global thing. They put out a release in like 2005-ish.
Okay.
That just said no more proxies at all, and it's tied to the Wizard Play Network status. Stores can lose their WPN status if they're using proxies in sanctioned tournaments.
And you get no boxes, it's sealed, goes away, no advance, nothing.
Yeah, all the promos, all the pins, all of that junk. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is a good point too.
I know stores that still do it.
This is a good point, Lord Pepsi, and thank you for the super chats earlier and being active in the community. He says, how can WOTC address kingmaking, saltiness, and slow play? Big shoes to fill if they want to take over. Yeah, we know you're not trying to be negative Nancy, but that is a good, valid concern because unless, how many judges could they afford to have that? And, how do you tax someone that's slow playing? Are they just slow? Like me? That's why I've taken apart my Lord Windgrace deck so many times because, too many interactions and I'm not that fast. So I had to change my deck because it's kind of a pain. How many Scoot Swarms am I putting out? Jeez. Yeah. Yes, can confirm I'm slow. Yes, very true. I mean, thank you to the community. Thank you to the community, especially because I wasn't even playing Commander when I set up my my channel. So, you all got me to play, and I'm a better player now for it. So you guys all rock. Thank you so much. But yeah, that deck, I might remake it again, but I'm slow with it. So I choose ones with less interaction or interaction that makes more sense. But if you have a new player in there and you have a pre-con with some, and it's not really explained well, if you're playing at the store, get some help, let people know, people can be civil about it, but it's always the tryhards that making everything bad, like you don't have to be a dick about it. Just tell them, hey, it doesn't work this way. Oh, okay. Be nice.
If Game and Bob's in the comments.
What's that, Tortoise?
Game and Bob's in the comments now. What's up, Game and Bob?
Oh,
what up, Bob? How you doing?
Here. Pull the strings. Come here. Come on.
So I just
go ahead, Cowboy.
I just Googled I went to the Magic the Gathering website and I was looking at their January 14th, 2016 notification on proxy communications. Apparently that LGS that was doing the contest, they had a suspiciously large prize pool, and apparently it came out that a majority of the cards being used in that tournament were proxies. And long story short, TLDR, it pretty much says that WOTC's been against the piracy of their product. And they use that statement, piracy of their product.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, whether or not you
all pirates are now banned. Just saying.
Right. Just saying.
Every pirate gone.
Yeah. So that's how officially WOTC saw.
But did you proxy your pirates? Is the question.
Right.
Oh.
But as of 2016, that was WOTC's official stance on proxies is pirated goods.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it is getting better, so it's hard to exactly. Why is it hard to comprehend? Proxies are piracy, just as bootleg copy of DVDs is. Yeah, and if for your small pods at home or kitchen table, who cares? I don't care if you use a proxy. Right. But for an official tournament, those are the rules. If you want to win, you have to play by the rules. There you go. And the fact that they don't allow proxy to store, you want to be up in arms. I mean, hey, if it's an official WOTC tournament, you better have them real cards. Otherwise, you're not participating. That sucks. But hey, you're at home pods. The store allows it. Cool, you do you, bro. I prefer the real cards because I know I have them and they're right there. I'm playing with them. I paid for them. I want to play with them. Damn it.
At this point, LGS is almost make all their money off of singles anyway, right? And so even at that level, you're walking into the tournaments they're hosting, trying to bring in a crowd. People can pick up those last couple cards. If they're just printing them, then that's that. That might actually ironically be, and or anyone who has heard me on a show, I'll be the first one to jump out of Wizards, with a buff.
Wait. I have a real hold on. Why no waifu elves? That's messed up, bro.
I agree.
I hear you.
I agree.
It's like, come on, we have to have the waifus. Stop it. Okay. Anyways, yeah, it's Kindred. My bad. But yeah, no, I hear you, bro. I don't proxy. There is no law saying that you're entitled to use every card ever made in an official setting. Yeah, it's true. But I will be using Badlands proxy that Bob gave me. Oh yeah, those are dope. I still have those, Bob. I'm still weird about them though. And when I play in Vegas and Luau graded Badlands, I have nice. What's up, Bob? How you doing?
Right. Man, I wasn't gonna pop in until you started talking about proxying Dag Nebbit or Dag Blaggett.
Yeah.
But literally, I was, we were soliciting for our channel from MPC. I don't know if anybody here is familiar or not familiar with MPC, but it's called MakePlayingCards.com. They are a Chinese-based company. And when we talked with them about, they responded to me about doing some sort of partnership. They said they're already working with Wizards of the Coast.
Really?
Yes. So the stance that they don't... that Wizards doesn't like pirated goods, but pirated goods is a very different technical thing than that. Would not be proxies, that would be counterfeits, and I am sure that WOTC is against counterfeits, as I am sure most people who use proxies are against counterfeits. The same exact card can be both a proxy and a counterfeit, but there are proxies that can in no way be a counterfeit, which are the ones that use non-WOTC art with non-WOTC backs that have no hope of ever being passed off as a real Magic card. If you make one that looks exactly like a real Magic card and you try to pass it off as a real Magic card, you have just changed from proxy into a counterfeit territory. So piracy is a very different thing, and a lot of the proxy sites won't even allow you to use Magic backs on their cards. They'll straight up reject it. But I mean, that's such a slippery slope, and people have been proxying since day one. What makes a proxy? Taking a basic land that's a Magic card and writing on it, demonic tutor, because you didn't have it, or if you don't want to use a card that you have, or it's too beat up and it would be considered a mark card, and you can prove that you have it, you're allowed to use proxies. So even in tournaments, just as long as you register it with the judges. So again, that's a very how did you guys even trip into that subject based on all of
I don't even know
going on? What a weird thing. I was sitting here listening. I'm like, dag Blaggett.
Yeah.
I was talking about how I'd like to see CEDH possibly sanctioned, and I was talking about stores. Some stores I know let people use like a dollar amount of proxies in their deck because not everybody owns the real cards, and some cards are too expensive just to own at the moment. Some people are saving up for them, and they get to use them in their decks like they do with Legacy. Because I see more Legacy tournaments with people having dollar amount proxies allowed in their deck. Like you're allowed this amount of proxies that reach this dollar amount. And usually they're big cards. Like when Tormagoyf is like $100 cards, you're able to get 4 Tormagoyfs in your deck, just because of the proxy rule. Because not everybody had to do it. And the business who did it not just to let people play as proxies, but they did it to get more people in the tournaments. Because people didn't have all the cards to play in the tournaments. So they did this as a way to let people take what they had and get into the tournament.
Yeah.
Wow. And I'm trying to unpack all that because there's a lot there. And it seems like you have some non-sequitur.
That's right. Breathe, Bob. I'm so happy you're here.
I saw you say you tried to pull me in, and you did. Dang it. I just wanted to play some Lord of the Rings online. But So there's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot to that statement, and I don't know if you guys even want to listen to me blather on. And I have to apologize, Mono. I feel like I stepped all over you last time. So I owe you a public apology.
I already left that burning pile of crap on I did a ding dong ditch on you. That was me. So we're even.
So I don't think WOTC truly has a problem with proxies. Number one. Number two, when you start touching on any form of EDH, actually any form of free for all. Oh yeah, bro. Oh yeah.
There you go.
So random. Okay.
They no. That's understand.
That's our tinfoil hat clip that you can actually talk through, but everyone thinks it clips them off.
I don't, just so people can wait, what happened? What am I looking at the screen? Anyways, that to give you a little bit of history on that, Mono. I do a lot of tinfoil hats, or I used to in the past. One of the ones that was probably the most on target was prior to M30. If you look back on my channel, I made a video saying they could do exactly that 2 years before they did it. So, and
even on here, if you go way back on and try to find all the MTG roundtables, you're too prophetic, Bob. Holy crap!
Hey, Bob, did you predict that if they did it, they would charge a buttload for a pack?
No, I didn't say that.
You missed that one.
Well, but I mean, there's no way to know. I just knew that it's some form because literally they left the hole in their reprint policy. It says literally that they just can't print them in tournament legal format. Like that's like it's literally on the reprint. So people saying that M30 violated the reserve list, you're just patently wrong, whether you like to admit it or not. That's just false. It's a false statement if you understand the English language and you go read their reprint policy. They didn't violate anything. And even if they did, good luck trying to sue them. There's no judge going to uphold that. At any rate, beyond that, getting to the EDH being a sanctioned tournament, I'm just going to say it now. No, never. Will not happen. The problem is collusion. You cannot prevent collusion, and that would just prevent them from being able to hold them in any type of reasonable sanctioned format.
And there's no way to monitor that.
Yeah, there's no way to catch that.
I mean, it's like Bob, like you and I collude. We have one other person that's a friend. We'll probably even do it subconsciously. We can't let this one guy win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even if we don't win, we'll allow Mono to win. Right. So it's not even the best player wins. It's problematic just in its essence, right? To say that they could make it be sanctioned, which the only reason, and let's be real, let's talk about the reason why people want it to be sanctioned. People want prizes associated with it. So my take on that is you don't really need to have it as a sanctioned format. You need to have somehow prizes associated with it. And I think the best way to do that is participation points, right? Kind of like if you think about it, if anybody here does any MMO rating, where you get participation points, you get DKP for showing up to a raid, right? And then over time, you get enough DKP build up that you get to buy the gear that you want. So at any rate, I'm not going to go there. Yeah, I can see the wheels clicking. Mono.
It's an old reference there, but it checks out.
I want to get clear on what you're saying. When you talk about collusion, are you saying that they couldn't sanction Truly Competitive or do a bunch of stuff because the fact that 3 people could say, F that guy, let's all get him out first, actually would make the tournament something that like whatever, just in a physical realm and a social realm problematic, but maybe even also in a legal realm? I'm not disagreeing with you. I didn't thought about that. Like, these are the rules. Forget it. Make mom jokes. We don't care. But which they shouldn't.
Well,
but are you saying that in a intentional way they could not really allow such a free for all without it just turning into a total disaster?
Expand that to like 9 people going into a tournament, and let's say that they can push one guy through ahead of time, and so they all have agreements that, well, if I can't win, but I can make the other guy not win so that you could win, and we'll split the prize. We'll split the prize pool later.
Yep.
Right.
That's the same problem they have with regular tournaments.
Well,
just 1v1.
But the article I pulled up a couple weeks ago.
Cat on screen.
Cat on screen.
Go ahead.
So, like an article I pulled up a few weeks ago on the morning show, it was like about a month now, was actually an article by I can't remember the name of the people who did it, but it was a big one that we all know. But they were talking about WOTC looking into 1v1 Commander as something to look into and support for your local LGS to do like FNMs and stuff.
Yep.
Well,
I also think that will be the way to go about doing tournaments. Is one-on-one.
So let's address that real quick. Number one, 1v1 EDH is actually called Brawl, and that's like one of the least popular formats on Arena.
Yeah.
True.
Secondly, when you go 1v1,
Here you go, Jake, from Jake and Joel or Magic. The first Jake. Wow. I assume that's Joel. What's up, man? Go ahead, brother.
So, again, the collusion wouldn't be in a 1v1 format, even though somebody here, I don't remember who it was, just mentioned that collusion is a problem already, even in 1v1. It would be worse because you can actually affect gameplay, right?
Yeah.
At a table as a multiplayer free-for-all format, right? The best way you could even try to do that is to randomize it more. But if you can get a large enough group of people prior to the tournament that are able to get into the tournament to get into a team, if you will, that's not a recognized team once you start playing, you have problems with collusion. Like, it's just going to lead to so many conspiracies, so many problems. I don't think they want to invite that headache. I think that there are other ways for them. Like I said, what they need to do is award prizes to the players that avert the idea of collusion, right? To where you just get participation points, regardless win or lose.
Extra tinfoil, Hattie. No, you're not gonna get a win here unless you tip us out. You see?
Yeah, exactly. Good about it.
right. But like, I know for a fact, my friend's group who plays more CDH than I do, because I have one deck that's close to CDH, but it's not. But he plays as a group, and they do pods of 4, but they also do 1v1 where they play, and they enjoy it the same. They just build their decks a little different for the different ways they play, like from pods to 1v1.
Well, again, 1v1 is not Commander. Sorry, you can call it 1v1 Commander, but that's a Brawl, but with slightly different rules.
Right.
But
however you want to call it, people are playing around with it right now. That's why it was in an article.
But again, it's not Commander. Commander involves politics.
So, that shouldn't back on the collusion.
I mean, collusion's baked into the format, right? But to your point, when you start keeping a lot of prizes, especially, and you're just going to have people talking about being salty, like people really start to freak out. And think about the feel bads, right? Like, I show up, no one really knows me. I'm the new guy there. I definitely have a hateable face to begin with, right? You sit down your first time, you get back into the game, and the 3 guys are like, F that guy. Let's definitely get him out like instantly, And I could see that, instantly getting to a spot where like brawls, but like out in the parking lot. It's look, we play amongst our friends. How many of you got into those arguments? Like, our night hasn't even started when we start playing Commander pods until someone's basically standing up, and we've gotten all mad at somebody else. So I will say, Bob, I hadn't thought about that aspect, that you could almost be like inciting violence. This could get so crazy, except to say they have these pods going on for prizes now, and it's not happening. Do you think like the officialness, or anyone, the officialness of Wizards now sanctioning it, just sort of starts to evolve the mindset to get people like more try-hardy over the whole thing, and the collusion thing becomes different than it is now?
I think it is already happening.
Well, I think we got enough tryhards already. I think it's going to just bring them out even more.
Yeah, and they're doing this tier system too to kind of combat pub stomping. But it was mentioned earlier by Lord Pepsi. How are they going to monitor king making, salt levels going too high, and turtling or dirtling rather? That's going to be
right.
I think it's too problematic. It's too problematic.
Well, I see the problematic parts you're talking about, because like, how do you get people on a table at random, right? You got a group of friends who are like, we're going to play in a pod together so I can win. Or we one of us can win.
Yeah,
I see we're getting that, but that's where the brawl aspect, I guess, if you want to call it that, because people are playing with it right now, and people are enjoying the format because 1v1's faster than a pot of 4, and so they're trying with that now. So I don't know. I don't know. I like the idea. I love that idea.
Brawl is a format, Mono. I'm not sure if I was clear about that. That is, it's a format of 1v1 Commander. But as far as like physical violence, I wasn't even addressing that at all. But the collusion means that you're all working together, a predestined group of folks going in with a plan to give their group, not any one individual, better chances of walking away with a split of the prize pool, right? And that gets into like legal issues at that point, and it's not something that's as large a problem in the 1v1 formats. Throwing a match here or there, but it would be much larger of a problem making different plays in a multiplayer format at a table. You'd be playing cards differently than you would, like, say, for example, you have a board wipe, but your buddy who's in your pod who has a chance of ending the game right now, and you don't play your board wipe so that they wipe out the other 2 players if they're not in your team, or 1 player if they're not in your team, so that 1 player at your team gets to advance to a further part in the format, right? And that's problematic to the nth degree for Wizards. I kind of want to get off that because I want to address, like, you talked about the 4 buckets or whatever they're calling those things, brackets, buckets, suckets. They're not going to do any better with 4.
If you bring your deck with a bucket labeled 1, you're fine, right?
Okay. So first of all, they just banned 4 cards really, because they're so powerful, right?
Right.
Now, Nadu, it's not that powerful if you don't have any spells or abilities that target your own creatures. Sorry, it's just not that strong. It could be a terrible commander if you don't design your deck around it. It doesn't automatically, because you have a Nadu, make your deck a tier 4 bucket, right? And same thing, you could put Dockside, Jeweled Lotus, and Mana Crypt all in the same deck. And if you have a pile of garbage outside of that,
I gotta fix that link for you there, Jake. Okay.
That deck with the 3 most powerful cards that just got banned is a 0 power ranking. I could make it the worst deck ever. So just putting these cards in, like, MIT tried to like rank powers and all that, and they couldn't even do it, right? And we haven't been able to do it successfully for the last 20 years of Commander with a 1 through 10 power ranking, even subjectively, to honestly assess your deck. I'll be honest with you, I have 40 decks running around here. I couldn't tell you the power levels of them because it's all subjective to me, right? And if you think that they're going to be able to put a list of cards and say, well, these cards in this combination are stupidly powerful. Let me give an example. Hull Breacher, another banned card, right? If somebody's playing that in a deck with wheels, it's a busted ass card. But if they're not wheeling, it's not broken at all. It's a very fair kind of card to play. It's just annoying. And I don't think they're going to be able to build that algorithm and keep up with it with all the cards that they keep producing every 2 months, and keep that in an updated format.
Right.
Meaningful 1 through 4 ranking system. That's not real, folks. Like, I think they're going to, I can't believe they even announced it. It is not. How many people watched the WOTC show this week with Gavin and Aaron?
I did.
I did.
Yeah.
Like, it was
we
so
were there, even live.
It was so okay, but I wanted to get the rest of the phone. It was so half baked. Why would you announce a 4 bucket system when it's not even halfway fleshed out? We're not really married to 4 buckets. We really don't know. It's like, what? Yeah. That's like announcing, oh, I've got a gun in a gunfight, but hold on, it's not loaded and it's in the car and the bullets are at home. Hold on a minute. Let me, like, it. Why would you even announce that? It's a dumb.
They got concepts of plans. They got concepts of plans. They're going to roll with it. They're like, we got this rolling. This might be exciting. This might turn your head left so you don't look at what's on the right. This is to make light of the situation. They're just trying to show you what the left hand has that the right hand doesn't. That's
I got
what
one
they're
response
doing.
to that.
They're just
words.
Yeah, right.
Words.
Yeah. Oh man!
But you get what I'm saying.
All right, I wasn't there to cue it.
It seemed like if they're saying we're taking ownership of the format. I wonder if they were like, we got to say something, because honestly, when I read it, I'm like, that's what it felt like. They're saying something. Like they kind of like we're taking control, or not control. We're taking ownership of the format, and the RC is bye, but we don't know what we're doing. Like that's the best I can come up with. Like we have to seize the opportunity, but we don't know
the
what
whole
we're doing.
thing was like, oh man, it was
words.
like, oh my god. Hey, Pazzy, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I agree with you, Mono. I think that's exactly the same feeling I had when I was watching the show. Is that just say something, right? And you know that's how Mark Rosewater gets in trouble. Like I met him and talked with him for about 4 hours, and I'm going to tell you right now, he gets a lot of heat unfairly from the community out there. I think very highly of Mark Rosewater. He's a dork. He opens his mouth when he shouldn't. I see that happen. Tell me that you all don't know people that open their mouth and you're like, wow, that you should have just not said words. But that's what he does. He's passionate about it, very knowledgeable about the game. He understands many aspects of it, but he'll speak on topics representing his company that he's got no business talking about. It's not in his arena. It's not in his wheelhouse. They're not his monkeys. You know, and he'll say things publicly about them. He doesn't establish those policies. He doesn't do those things with the print runs and establish how many boxes are going to be made. He's not the end-all, be-all god of WOTC. It feels more like
sounds like a streamer. Sounds like a streamer saying things he shouldn't be saying.
Oh, absolutely. Honestly, I got the impression.
You know what you're talking about, Hillbilly. We don't know what that means. What we mean.
Honestly, I got the impression that he's kind of like that dorky cousin that they just let come out every once in a while, and he takes the heat off of them.
No, now you're just describing me. You're just describing me.
Very likely. Yeah. At any rate, you know, I feel like they were just flailing. Like this is, I think this is I think you delivered the flaming bag of poop to the wrong doorstep there, Mono. I think, you know, WOTC got that flaming bag, only it's like a giant dump truck.
Yeah,
that's great.
But I think that's something that Wizards does really well that other companies don't, right? Who controls the ban restricted list for Yu-Gi-Oh? It's Konami. Who controls the ban restricted list in Pokemon? It's just the Pokemon League.
I think Nintendo?
Wizards puts a face, well, sure, but Wizards puts faces to these different things. And so I think they wanted to come forward and say, these are the people, you know, that way you have that consistency moving forward when they actually do flesh this out. You can see that story. So I appreciate the transparency. I like that they came forward and said, hey, we don't really have it all together, instead of saying, this is how it is, and then changing it later, because that's even worse.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, they're owning up at least, but you know, my little conspiracy brain thinks that like it's premeditated, and you know, the death threats was a good cop out. So I think they were planning on taking it over, but maybe they just weren't prepared, or go, oh yeah, we actually have to assign this to people. Oh wait, we have to work. Damn it. You know,
I kept thinking about that Godfather 1, right? When remember they get that senator that hates them, and then they put him in the room with the dead hooker, right? Yeah, and then they put her arm around him and like, oh, don't worry, we'll take care of you now. Like it seemed like they came to the RC at their
lowest. Let's pause to the cause real quick here. At 1 hour and 13 minutes, the mention of fun workers was made. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, as much as I'd love to think that, I wouldn't love to think that, but as intriguing as it is to say that WOTC would literally have like set up their own death threats and shielded out, like, whoa, you know, but
that's too much. Yeah, that's
but I think they've always been uncomfortable. I said as soon as this happened, it's on one of our videos that like they're going to take it over now. They're going to unban it. I don't care if they said they talked to him for a year. There's plenty of reprint equity in Mana Crypt that is not going to stand. They overstep their bounds, and like you're out of here. Now they may have just like failed upwards, and you know JL came and said, "This is happening. You know, please help us." I mean, that's what he said happened. So he has to believe that happened, and they were like, what is it? Burns, right out of The Sims. Yeah, excellent. You know, and then they just jumped on board, and I think that's why they're saying all this stuff now. I think they don't want to lose any momentum and saying it's definitely ours now. Here's this announcement, that announcement, this show. Yeah, get it through your skulls. There is no going back. We now have Commander, and they might be the dog that caught the bus on this. You know, we'll just have to see. You know, time will tell, because there are a lot of moving parts. If we're talking about piracy, proxies, what have you, the nature of these tournaments, the politicking that goes on with it, all these multi-tiers and blah, blah, blah. And I think it'll be an exciting time. So they've given us, certainly all of us, a bunch of cannon fodder here, right, to talk about this stuff endlessly.
Yeah.
So
and
I'd like,
yeah.
I would like
ahead,
to
brother.
throw in. It'll be interesting to see how much WOTC puts their foot down on subjects like proxies and stuff, since they have the reins to the committee now. That'd be interesting to say. That'd be interesting how they care for the format itself, because you got people like Gavin Verhey and Aaron Forsyth. What?
Oh no! Look, it's super chat. It says, "Now I'm hungry. KFC buckets, chicken tribal.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
Right. Oh, very good. So
I didn't mention food this time.
Like Gavin Verhey and Aaron Forsyth are on the community. They said, I believe that's what they said, and they just said they didn't want. It's not something they wanted to take over, but like my back of my head, as much as I think things are going to be okay, I got Papa WOTC over there being like, "Oh, we got the crystal ball now. We can control the future." And I'm like, "What?
Yeah,
I don't know." Like part of it.
People thinking that Rosewater and Aaron Forsyth are like laughing maniacally, and behind them, like, "We have control now. I'm the captain now."
Right. like Gavin Verhey and Aaron Forsyth's like Bebop and Rocksteady, and WOTC's like Shredder and Krang.
No, my response was no, not my response, but the fun response we had during that live, and I wish I made a clip of it, but whatever. But is Aaron Forsyth said, we don't even he gave it to us, and he said, yeah, we don't even make the cards for Commander. Like what? we build for we make cards for other formats, and I'm like, oh, okay. We don't build for we don't make cards for Commander. That's not our job. It's like,
Wow.
oh, okay.
Wait, who said that?
Aaron Forsyth. He's like, we're taking on the responsibility. We don't even work in that section. Basically, we're going to do our best because we don't even do cards for Commander. So this is new to us. Like, okay.
Hang on a second, because first of all, wow, so much to like rewind and here.
I don't have the clip, or else I would show you. But he did mention something along those lines during the live with me and TCGDude. So if you have the patience to go back and find it, or find it in their own stream, cool. But it was said in one way or another.
Wow.
Well, you got to be. Words matter, so I'd have to go back and look at it.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah, please.
I met Aaron. I met Aaron, and I don't know if you're about.
He's
to
a boss, dude.
Struck here. He's kind of a dick.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I would bet that he feels he's too far above this from my just meeting him for
kind of a bit. That's the feeling I got.
That he's annoyed by this more than.
Oh, he's way annoyed.
I don't think he wants to be part of this at all. So also, like, I want to address what you said there super fast. You said that now that they're going to be in charge, how are they going to address proxies? Wow. Like that just made my head explode. Let me ask you this. I'll put it back to you. What can they do about it?
Reprints.
No, well, the only thing reprints. I'm not sure what you mean by that statement, Hillbilly. You mean print everything so far into the ground that it's more expensive to get proxies than to get actual cards?
Right?
Okay, just go ahead and set it all on fire, right now, because the game will die the day that happens.
Exactly.
But like, so in a reasonable sense, what did you suspect that they could possibly even do about something like proxies, Tortoise?
Well, like at the kitchen table, no. At the game stores, the stores still have leverage at the point. But like my thing is,
hold on a second. Unpack that. You say that the stores have leverage. Explain that.
So,
first off,
the store Heebie Jeebies. I know I'm name dropping. This is in Utah. Like they did the proxy thing. You know, proxy for the night. This how much money you got for the game. If you want to play in, here's your amount of proxies. Here's the money dollar amount of how many proxies you can have in your deck. And they're like, if you can have this amount up to this much money in your deck for the proxies. Well, stores get a little leeway when they do their own thing. But now what's going to happen? Like, what if they get greedy? And this is a thought, right? What if they get greedy and this is, well, if you come to Las Vegas and you play a commander deck, well, it's me, and, you know, you better not have any proxies in your deck or you'd be kicked out.
Kicked out of what?
I don't know.
Well, okay, but that's what I'm asking you. You made a statement. I'm asking you to kind of.
Well,
hold on. In his defense, we were talking about an official tournament, like how.
But there's no official tournaments for Commander.
Well, we understand that, but now that it's in WOTC's hands, they can actually start doing that.
Both of you are talking. I can't.
Oh, sorry.
I said there are Commander tournaments at store levels.
Like, okay, but first off, WOTC's not in control of local LGSs.
Right.
They can't police that, not in any reasonable fashion. They're not going to have a WOTC representative going around to the 4,000 plus stores monitoring their own store tournaments of Commander. And even if you do, you're going to ask all these people to unsleeve 100-card decks to make sure that their cards aren't proxies? Are you kidding me? Those tournaments will never fire off at the local stores. So there's no way to police that. Like, I'm just kind of curious, like, how? Because you said that, what are they going to do with it? How would they do anything at all with proxies?
I don't know. That's why I'm curious. Well, they might not do anything. Look, they might not going to do They might not do nothing about it, but I got a feeling they might get vocal about it later on. Because that's all they can really do. Is bitch and complain.
Did you say local or vocal?
Vocal.
Like local.
I mean, well, yeah.
V like
V as in Victor.
L or a V as in Victor, and
V as in Victor. Vocal as in talking.
To do what though? Like, I'm not going to worry about things until they actually mention that they're going to attempt to do something like this bucket list, which is just garbage.
Right.
They're going to have to prove that that's a real thing.
But I mean, you know, why KFC? Why not like Popeyes?
Right?
Like that's the bucket you need. Yeah.
So I'm just, you know, like, I wouldn't worry about what WOTC could potentially do about proxies in local game stores.
Yeah.
Like, it's not an enforceable thing at all.
Right.
So I wouldn't worry about that. Additionally, Commander is so widely played outside of LGSs that it's probably mostly played not in game stores. I've never played Commander at a game store out of the hundreds of games I played.
Oh yeah.
What about Raising Kings?
Like, you know, back in the day when
back in the day.
Hello?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Waiting for your words.
Oh, sorry. My internet went jank for a bit. So back in the day, proxies used to be easy to tell.
Yeah.
I think WOTC just censored him.
But
makes you think that they'll just land. Put up an
He's all like
jabs. Oh, sorry. But anyways, what I said was proxies back in the day. People used to make them on purpose that you could tell they were proxies. Now today, it's kind of hard to tell which ones are proxies anymore. So there's like the secret layer kind. Like I said this a long time ago, the secret layers kind of threw away the idea of proxies. The makes they make them do the interesting arts make it hard. So I don't know how much WOTC really cares about proxies anymore because they made it hard to tell anyways.
How does a proxy affect anything anyways?
Well,
I mean,
like my thought is if they care. If they cared.
But what impact?
Like, I don't think they will care. Because my comment was more of I'm curious to see if they're gonna put their foot down on things that they can't control.
But my question to the entire community is, what difference do proxies make? Even if somebody shows up at a tournament with proxies, what difference does it make?
Wizards wants to sell cards. They no, get out of here. You want to go to that tournament or that prize? You get out there and start buying our card.
But it's
Honestly-
not WOTC making the money. It's secondary market value, which they supposedly
Yeah.
don't care about. Really, that's where
The
tournaments
difference
get-
is the other players, though.
What-
I mean, I
what-
think we
yeah.
can all that to some extent, Magic is a pay-to-win game. The higher value cards you have, the better likely you are to win. If one person is proxying all the expensive stuff and someone else is trying to play with just what they can budget for, that's a disparity.
That's not tournaments. Let's be real. Come on, Jake. Come on, man. That's not how real tournaments work. Nobody shows up with a deck without the best cards simply because they couldn't afford it. That's not true.
I think it happens all the time.
Not in any real
Yeah.
RCQ. Sorry, it doesn't happen.
Well, maybe at the RCQ level, sure, but we're just talking in-store tournaments, right?
That's-
We're not.
Yeah,
Well,
limited
no,
store.
okay.
I get it.
Obviously, the higher you go, yeah, people are going to shell out whatever they have to win.
And I would bet even at the store level, most people show up with the cards.
Honestly,
It's
if
not-
I was like a LGS though, I'd be all like, "Hey, bring your commander deck. We have here, and that way we don't have any issue. The store prints out some cards, and if they take off with them, well, oh well, whatever. But obviously, it won't look like the original card. But hey, guess what? 97 card format. We have here that you can sleeve when you get here. A Mana Crypt and a Jeweled Lotus. Or maybe some other power cards that they know is popular in their local meta, and says, "Don't worry about it. We'll give it to everyone. Everyone's got an equal chance. Let's go."
Well, what I would honestly do if you want to have prizes associated with Commander, everybody that's there, you get a raffle ticket, and for all the participants, one or some number of random players that are there participating get some prizes. Pay to enter in, right? So that the store gets something, and then raffle out the prizes. So it doesn't matter whether you're proxying or playing a more powerful deck or playing the wrong bucket tier or whatever. It like Commander's not really. It's in 2 weeks. Nobody's going to even really pay attention to much of the kerfuffle that just happened.
They're not going to do anything drastic. Unlike the market
20
dictates, they're not going to do anything drastic for a while. They're not going to unban or ban anything for months on end until they get their crap together and develop this 4-bucket system and a way that Hasbro can make money off of that bucket system.
But people haven't been paying attention to the power rankings since I've been playing. Like, it was a minute that people said, "Hey, what power level deck are you playing?"
I always say
shit
I don't
hasn't
know.
been a thing for forever. Not at our tables. It's like that's so subjective. You call that a 5? You call that a 7? You call that a 3?
Yeah.
Like, just get out of here.
But I think that's
never.
the
Although
goal,
I
right?
did hear a
They're trying
recent
to make it
joke I thought
objective.
was hilarious. Sorry.
They're trying to make it objective. That's the whole point of these brackets is to give that verbiage so you can say these are the tier 4 cards, and everyone else can say I also have tier 4 cards. And they say, cool, we're all running tier 4 cards. End of discussion. I don't know if it's more helpful, but I don't think it's any less helpful than we're all running 7s and 8s.
No, it was funny because it's just like, oh yeah, I was making fun with one of our guys in Discord, and I was like, oh yeah, you're freaking tier 10. He's like, oh, it's not tier 10. I was like, what, dude? Like, you're running freaking Urza with all the artifact jank and all that fun stuff, like super high power, right? He's oh, it's not a 10. With the bans, now it's an 8. I was like, oh damn, that was good.
Well, it's gonna be interesting. This tier list it's definitely not even on legs right now. It has nothing to stand on.
Yep.
Like I said, there's websites I use, and they're not, and I don't think they're the best websites ever. They're good websites for me because I understand them the way I understand them, and it fits in my world. But but everybody else's world, when it comes to it, they understand something a little different about the game, that they tier up decks. I think WotC needs to go to what people are already doing, get their input, get the community's input, build around that, because like Jake and I could be playing a game, and his idea of a 5 could be less or more than my idea of a 5. All WotC can do is try to unify that, but just work with what we got. Just work with what we got already and make it yours. Simple as that.
It seems like from all of this that if they're smart, the answer, the order of the day for them would be a light touch. So I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the day, they're going to create another committee and it's just going to be like, listen, you kind of do what you're supposed to be doing. We'll maybe even lean in, give you some more support. Maybe there'll be a few dollars there, but you ain't banning a friggin' thing without our say-so. Like, that'll probably be the written rule there. And then they may even start to see putting their thumb on a scale with bans or unbans kind of thing if they're looking to try to push some kinds of cards. I'm excited to speculate as to which ones over these, coming many months might start to get unbanned. But I with everything that everyone's bringing up here right now, I mean, it's like my brain is exploding with like all of these problems, and you start to think, why the hell would Wizards ever want to wade into this? And that seems to be the only way to do it is more formalize their, control over the independent committee while keeping hidden secret rules with them, so these sorts of fiascos don't happen again. We might just see it continue on as it's been happening. They're just going to let it go.
All right.
Honestly, I bet they just want to control the ban list. I think that's probably the real ultimate aim of what just happened.
Exactly.
I think Bob's right on that. That's why they like the idea.
Yeah, and they have control over it. The one of the cons that we didn't really address, like we kind of did, but basically, the power level is pushed every set. Like if you don't have power in the set, people won't buy it. So they're going to be constantly pushing the envelope. And, from a financial standpoint, they make an uber broken card in this latest set that just came out, whatever, right? They make that uber broken card. That's what's helped driving the sales for that set. They probably won't touch that card until they stop printing. And that's the problem we're having with the One Ring. They're not going to ban it. They're not going to touch it. It's going to be left alone until, Bob, I have to agree with you more now, because they won't touch it until all those boxes are cleared out of the warehouse. So, yeah. The One Ring is probably safe until then. So we got another year, maybe year and a half on that. Yeah. Suck it, nerds.
Will they even ban the One Ring that someone paid like $1 million for it? And whatnot?
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
especially someone who's super uber famous.
Exactly. They're like, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
By the way, that $1 billion purchase or $2 million purchase. Oh, that card's no good no more. Don't worry about it.
That's it, though, right? I mean, that's what we all kind of keep talking about, and a lot of people just go, it's a monopoly game pieces, and I'm not as much of a game piecer. I'm like, you want this to be game pieces, and you charge me $39.99 for 4 of every card of every set. I pay $40, right? You tell me I got $2,500 to try to chase down these cards, then I kind of want to know that we have the ability to do something with them later. And when it comes to Lord of the Rings, there's also a ton of licensing that goes into that.
Yep.
I do think the other hands would be tied on that for a little while. Yeah,
I mean, the closest one you could think of that might be touched would be Orcish Bowmasters, but they're not going to touch nothing from that set until their licensing is done. So, but they can reprint it. So there you go. That will help push down the One Ring. They think that a lot of people are speculating that the promo set that's included in with this bundle coming up from Costco will have the 4 cards that are in the bundles. I don't think they would, but they might. You never know.
When's that coming out, DJ? When is that bundle coming out of Costco?
Oh, I don't know.
Nobody knows.
I would assume for Christmas, but there's no official word, just a skew. So people are going off on that. Hey, Twiddler, it says, how many people stop playing Magic because Post Malone bashes WOTC for the One Ring ban? Oh, right. Yeah. That's yeah. Well, right now,
is Post Malone the guy with the tattoos on his face?
Yes.
On his face. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
His parents loved him.
Dude, he's worth $50 million. Like literally, I just checked that this week. But I think it would be, first off, for the Costco bundles, I wouldn't sweat it that much because we don't know the price point. Even if they put the One Ring in there, fine. Let's say
we have a price point. It's $54.95.
Supposedly, like that.
Supposedly.
Until it hits the shelves. Like, okay.
Right.
Allegedly.
I'll do that once the SKU hit the shelves. Like, we know that WotC has already made all kinds of mistakes. And all this, like, from a screenshot on a CRT terminal about a WOTC at Costco.
Right.
Chill your jets, folks, and let's see what's out there. There could be a million different promos they could put in those packs. Let's see if it's the One Ring. I think it will be bad if it is that price point and the One Ring is in there. I think they really can't keep stepping in poop. They need to stop. M30 overprinting, reprinting. Now, banning they've got to straighten out their PR problems because it's just been a very bad 4 years for them.
Yeah, that's also why they won't unban anytime soon because that makes an even bigger PR problem.
Oh, God. We talk about all these people that just lost all this money because, shit, sell. Wait, I sold my Mana Crypt at $75 and now it's $195 again? I hate you.
Yeah,
I know those people.
Dude, who watched 8th place? Who watched 8th place Dave? I love 8th place Dave.
Yeah.
But who saw his video? Anybody here?
I saw a couple recently, but
he set his Jewel Lotus on fire.
Oh, and then I did watch that. I did watch that. Okay.
Ooh.
I even commented on his video. I'm like, you didn't have to burn it.
I'm just going to say this right now for everybody's benefit here on the panel and in the audience.
Yeah.
Anybody here ever watch that movie Contact?
Yeah.
Okay.
Horrible, awesome movie.
Absolutely love that movie. Love that movie. One of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
But at the very beginning, she's operating a ham radio and she's moving the dial too fast. And her father walks in and says, small moves, Ellie, small moves, and you'll get more return for small moves. When there are panic, highly emotionally charged things going on in the Magic
sending
environment,
death threats, apparently.
Okay, that's a drastic move on the dial. If you want to think about what I'm about to say, as that dial, I'm going to give everybody the advice of small moves. Right? Don't instantly jump in and buy. There's one. Sorry, he's just an asshat. Who I was on Nikachu's show and he said he asked my advice when he bought 1,500 copies of the Scarab God. I was like, oh, God, I'm sorry for you. What would possess you to do such a thing? Unless you got them for like a penny a piece and they're legit cards. Like you can't even sell them. If you put 1,200 Scarab Gods in the market, you're going to kill your own price point. So you're stuck with 1,500 Scarab. I hope you like wallpapering your room with Scarab Gods. But that is not a small move. And it's the same thing when you're going for selling cards, right? Immediately on the ban announcement, like, oh, let me beat it, before it hits the bottom. Small moves, folks. Like, don't knee jerk and do things or get upset, knee jerk, nimbly bimbly. Small moves. Take a chill pill. Walk away.
Speaking of knee jerk, I need some help.
I'm not jerking you, man. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, but they just recently announced a new ruling, and you knowledgeable heads can help me figure this out because, I kind of don't get it, but it's all about missed triggers with sagas. So they had a new ruling for tournament play on sagas, and you just sent me the link, and now, okay. Where'd it go? Bruh. So much for that segue. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, where's said ruling?
Yeah. So they announced a major policy change regarding sagas. Relatively new concept of Magic, but they've become increasingly important over the years with multiple format staples like Fable of the Mirror Breaker making names for themselves. It's essential to players understand exactly how sagas function in a tournament setting. So basically, I can't sum this up because I don't get it. While sagas are overly complicated, they create some weird rulings related scenarios where players forget to put a lore counter on them. In most cases, it's beneficial for a player with a saga to remember to put the counter on it when they're supposed to and gain the effect. But accidents happen, and Judge are here to help move forward. So they made a ruling on this. So, old versus new. Dan, are you here?
I am.
Guess not. TCGDude?
You can't hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. And Dan's here as well, bro.
Keep going.
Why can't you hear me? I'm not muted.
No, you're good.
We all hear you. You sound amazing.
Oh, okay. Because you said you couldn't hear me.
What's that? I can't hear you.
No,
don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. What was that,
So
DJ?
old versus new. This is interesting because there are rules that have been in effect for many, many years now saying like you're not allowed to forget, certainly in the negative things. You know, you're not allowed to forget paying for upkeep. You can just qualify for tournaments for that stuff. You know, like your opponents don't have to remind you to do this stuff, at least with the negative stuff. Like you're obligated to do it, but this is beneficial. So I'm curious. I didn't know about this. Let's see where they're going with it.
Yeah, I mean, the change is that it becomes a triggered ability instead of being a game action. So it's not a gameplay warning. It's just a missed trigger. I think a lot of people were playing this way anyways. So it works the way you think it works now.
Right.
What this rule is.
I'm so confused. How does it work?
So if you miss the trigger, the rule is that your opponent, you know, if you miss a trigger, you say, "Ooh, I missed a trigger." Your opponent decides whether you roll it back to that trigger or whether gameplay continues.
Oh.
Well, but what if missing the trigger benefits you and it hurts them, and it's the next turn that? So let's say it's a kill a thing action, right? And you missed the trigger on the turn before, so the saga hasn't progressed, and then you elect to take the trigger. People can misuse that. You know
It's
what I'm
up to
saying?
your opponent. It's up to your opponent.
What do you mean it's up to your opponent?
On a missed trigger,
it would skip over that triggered ability and go to the next. So what?
No,
if
no, no.
What
It
if
just
the last ability?
It continues. You just wait until the next turn to put the next counter on. There's
That's
no.
what I'm saying. By missing triggers, you can take that to your advantage, right? Like, let's say it doesn't. You forget to put +1/+1 counters on your dudes this turn, so you didn't have any dudes out there, and you didn't get your +1/+1 counters, right? Next turn, you played something. Now you get your +1/+1
But that's
counter.
the thing. So if you miss that trigger, your opponent can call a judge and say, "Hey, he missed his trigger. We need to go back to that trigger," and force you to take that trigger.
Yeah.
And if it was in your
the big
advantage
40
to
chest.
taking it, if it was in your advantage to take the trigger, like it's my saga, and I generally forgot, I'm like, oh no, I wanted that cool thing. My opponent can go, you forgot. I am now electing for you to miss that trigger. You now get an extra turn before your saga advances.
Yeah,
correct.
I like it. Pay attention.
Yeah.
it does open up the opportunity for people scumming, right? Like they can angle shoot this. And, oh no, I missed the thing that wouldn't have helped me. But yeah, I mean, that's why it specifies at competitive rule enforcement level. In casual, like, don't be a dick. But in competitive, this is the way it works.
I don't get it, Big Dan.
I mean, if people kept complaining, you know, they also, you know, judges have unsportsmanlike conduct sort of things they can start to bring into play. And if everyone says this guy has just got Alzheimer's when it comes to his sagas, they can maybe bounce you eventually, right? Because at the same time, I'm not supposed to have to tell my opponent about all the things they have to do. Like we do have a fiduciary to kind of manage our board state, or it can become cheating. But certainly, because sagas are so beneficial, generally speaking, that missing it on accident, you know, would be a bad idea. And so putting it in your opponent's hands, certainly more often than not, will probably incentivize people to pay attention.
Yeah. And the other side on this also is that missing a saga before used to be a game failure to maintain game state and a warning. And two of those and you get a game loss, right? So it takes that weight off of the judging. It's just a missed trigger now.
Well, but I can see that it's kind of BS because I have a saga on one of my decks that exiles a creature for 2 chapters. And if I miss a trigger, then my opponent forgets and plays a bigger creature. Next time that triggers, I got a better target.
Yeah.
That was my point. Like it could be abused, missing triggers. Right. And that was exactly what I was saying. And I think that
I think that outlier is too small for it to change the message or the ruling.
So not only do I have to babysit my stuff, I have to babysit my opponent's stuff too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of how the game's always worked. Oh, you forgot to take a vanishing counter off of that.
Right. I play Modern Mill and Ruin Crab's Hedron Crab. Oh, you bet your butt the very first Modern match I had at a store, I missed my landfall trigger because I was nervous and my opponent had already taken his turn and drew his card. And I was like, oh, I missed this. He's like, sorry. You know, them's the beats.
Then the beats. TCGDude, I appreciate you.
Oh.
Yeah, the rest of us can F off, but he appreciates TCG, dude.
Yes.
Hey, don't worry. I don't get any special treatment outside of this place.
Hey, it's all right. It's called good, wholesome bromance.
What are you talking about? I have a fascination with Bob that's unchecked, and my therapist said I should stop talking to Bob.
Uh-oh.
No,
I
I'm
agree
kidding.
with your therapist. I often wonder why people apparently they do. Even at work. And what's crazy is I tell people things and they don't want to hear it. It's like, oh, let me ask you about this, and then I give them the answer, and they're like, yeah, I don't like that answer. Well, then don't ask.
Right? Or
I'm not
like how I
gonna say
get
who,
how I got
a content creator today literally pinged me on Discord, and he was asking my advice on tech because I'm fairly decent and solid with tech. I'm an IT professional, and was asking me about systems. First of all, he's like, "Hey, what's a great laptop for doing podcasts and videos and things?" And I was like, "Well, first off, don't use a laptop. That's a bad idea. They're not really great for that, and you want GPU power." And he's like, "Well, if it is a laptop, which one would you like?" I hear your answer and I reject your reality. So what's the best laptop you would recommend? Okay, clearly you didn't hear answer one. So answer two is, here's what I would recommend. And they were basically, well, that's kind of too expensive. What else can I use? I'm like, all right. So you've rejected answer one and you've rejected answer two. Stop asking me questions. That happens pretty frequently.
Right. Well, it's like I got in trouble once because when my wife asked a question I deemed stupid, and she knew it was stupid, and she got an answer, and she's like, "That's a stupid answer. It's the last stupid questions get stupid answers," and bam, my face was red in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it happens here all the time too, and don't ask me questions. So I'm surprised too. I think your therapist is right. People should stop asking me questions. I don't think it's good for your health.
No, what are you talking about? We always have a blast with you, Bob. We come a long way from our beginnings.
Not as much as TCGDude, apparently, though.
Oh no, TCGDude is about to have a child on the way.
Oh yeah, bro. It's coming here any minute now. Well, okay, not any minute, but you get the turn of phrase. But no, I like to say Bob is my favorite contrarian. He's always quick to tell it like it is, even if it hurts your feelings.
Right.
You keep saying contrarian. I would think that's the opposite of contrarian, is calling it exactly like it is. Isn't that contrarian?
Oh no, I slipped him up. See what I did there, boys?
You blew it.
Maybe you mean contributor.
I do try to call it like I see it. Again, I think we all should. I think a bigger problem that most people have, especially like financially, I was doing my evening walk with Miss Sherry Vegas, and we were talking about the fact that, I talk, if you guys listen to me, mostly I talk about financial responsibility regarding Magic the Gathering. That's where I really exist most of the time. It's why I became a content creator, really, is to try to help everybody have a healthier relationship with Magic, right? And I think that I'll be honest with you, all like people going out there and buying boxes and cracking them like crazy, and all these pack battle channels and all these, and I know that just behind the scenes, a lot of these people make far less money than I do because they'll hit me up, "Hey, can you buy this from me?" I was like, "No, stop buying packs. Like, what's wrong with you? Get your financial house in order." But people don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear, "No, you can't have your candy. You can't have your crack. You can't have your alcoholic." People don't like that. And it's the same with Magic. And I think a lot of people are just not honest with themselves.
It's true. Like I said earlier, and a couple times this week, if people were so darn affected that they lost money in their cards that they couldn't pay their bills, they're doing it wrong.
Oh, amen. We preach all the time on our channel, and I'll preach it here right now. If it's on my tombstone, fine. Only buy what you don't mind being stuck with.
Mm-hmm. That's
right?
true. That's true. Like, do what you can afford.
If it goes to zero, be happy about having that card.
Right.
including
So
my
that's
M30 boxes. I have them,
right.
and I'll be happy if they go to 0. I'll be happy if they go to 1 million. But it'll be my that gets that windfall or sad face, not me.
I think that's why I'm a collector person rather than a gaming person, because I plan on being buried with all my collectibles.
Amen, brother.
They're just gonna put you in the landfill for how much junk you got.
You know, grab my jar, take all my collectibles, toss them in a jar with my decomposing head in a jar, and just bury me with all my collectibles.
I say burn it all. Make a YouTube video. Here's all Bob's collectibles with Bob. We're just gonna burn them up and toss them in a dumpster.
Just full of Viking funeral.
Yeah,
Viking.
Then they play Billy Joel's "We Didn't Start the Fire" to it too, just for irony.
Speaking of being stuck with it, did I hear you say you're about to have a kid?
I can neither confirm nor deny this.
Listen, dude, we talked about this. How did this happen?
He forgot to put a sleeve on it.
That's what it
right. Ever since I double sleeve now.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know that was information.
Oh yeah, your magic budget just disappeared.
Oh, it just turned into proxy budget, bro.
No, you can't even afford proxies. Those cost about 30 cents a piece.
See, the trick is to use old baby wipes, leave them dry and crusted.
Wow. Back to the crusty stuff on the floor of the carpet of bedrooms again, just where we started the show.
That's right. It all comes full circle.
What's that laying over there? Oh, that's my Manicrypt proxy.
Well, like I said, I'm a collector in the game pieces, and so when I got the chance to get my Manicrypt, I grabbed it. Like I was lucky to get trade for one, and I was happy about it because I will play with it. Not in Commander, because I follow the ban list, but I'll put it in my cube. I have a place to play with it. It was a piece I wanted for a while. It was worth money. It was fun. It was fun.
No, I'm playing with my Jeweled Lotus and Manicrypt in Commander. If you don't like it, you can suck it. Rule 0, baby.
And they'll be unbanned anyway. They'll be unbanned.
Look, I hate bannings in Commander. To me, that's the dumbest thing. Like, there's no sanctioned tournaments. People say, what about the tournaments? There's no real tournaments. Get out of here. And
you said, Bob, last week, though, that without bans, that we didn't say without bans. I won't put words in your mouth. But you were also making a comment which got me thinking that if you have an eternal format like Commander and there are never any bans, then eventually the format can become hopelessly broken with the power creep and all the combinations. It could truly become unmanageable, right? Isn't that where these tiers might come in that Wizards talking about?
Yes, but let's clarify. I'm not in support of that. I'm in support of formats, not bans.
So the tiers would be the way to, well, but by nature, wouldn't tiers mean bans?
I'm not into the tiers, but formats. If you want to say formats are banning because like standard bans everything that's not in standard, and modern bans everything that's not in ban in modern. No, I believe you should be controlling cards being played by the formats and not by ban lists. I think ban lists are unhealthy. I think that somebody's getting butthurt on every ban.
Mm-hmm.
So creating a new format isn't as salty or toxic, in my opinion. But understand, all these are just my opinions, folks.
Well, I think
that's the way I would
general
handle it.
Sentiment is that the people that are going to be affected by the in-game lack of Manicrypt is less than the folks that would be affected as newcomers, right? Being pub stomped, essentially. And having some sort of level playing field or some sort of barometer that checks your power level compared to your opponent's possible power level.
Could absolutely be handled by a format instead of a ban list.
But then eventually a format just becomes like a retired format, right? Because so many cards get in and everything's just lunacy.
Well,
if they don't do...
Think about it like Vintage, right? Think about it like Vintage. Is Vintage a retired format? No, but they just become less popular, which is just the nature of things, right? The average Magic player is in for only about 2 to 3 years. Fine. you have rotating formats that will breathe and live with that once you establish that idea of, evolving formats, if you will. As we progress down this time path with Magic, we get more and more formats. It's just the way of things, and the older formats become less popular, and that's the nature of it, and that's perfectly fine and healthy. It allows things to still exist, people to have their Black Lotuses or dual lands and whatnot, and it's perfectly healthy. And for those newer players that don't have the financial wherewithal or just the time on their side of collecting, that newer formats can help that exist in a healthier way. Bannings just hurt, I think that you are on point with a purely gameplay perspective look, TCGDude, but that's completely ignoring the collectability aspect of a collectible card game.
Oh, of course, of course. I wouldn't make it an umbrella answer,
So only looking at it from half of the perspective, it's like making things that all appeal just to left-handed people and completely ignoring right-handed people. You've eliminated a large part of your audience. So
who does anything for left-handed people? Come on, they have the disease.
Okay, left-handed. You ever tried to cut things with left-handed scissors? Holy moly! But
God. I believe Jake had something there. He had a question there. What was that, bud?
That's what bannings are for. It's for gameplay. You don't ban for collectability. I don't think they've ever banned anything for collectability.
Right, but it affects both the collectability and the gameplay, right?
Of course, yeah. But I don't think we want to start banning or limiting formats based on collectability. That's why I'm against putting out the reserve list, right? But
they always have it. Exactly to your point. That's what the reserve list is there for. It's something that they learned back when they printed Chronicles, that you have to pay attention to the collector base or the game dies. Sales dry up and completely go away. So if you want Magic to continue as a game, you cannot ignore the collectability aspect of it. If you do, it will die. You can't push $500 boxes without the promise of cards, game pieces, potentially having some value. And by banning them, you make everybody nervous in the service that, hell no, I'm not buying a $500 box, because tomorrow, next year, 2 years from now, it becomes garbage.
Reprinting them 80 times over will do the same thing as well.
Exactly. And I've been on fire since the fireside chat about that.
Hot take: 3 of the 4 cards banned were only for Commander, and newsflash: Commander isn't the first format. You know what I'm saying? Like, out of the recent bannings, right? So I think that it's a bit of a fallacy to think that collectability is going to be held up just by Commander playability when there's other formats out there. Even if those cards that were banned were not legal in those other formats.
No, my friend. That's why they print Commander cards in every single product that they print, regardless of whether it says standard, modern. It doesn't mean it. Damn thing. Everything is about Commander. Don't kid yourself. That's 90% of the purchasing power is behind Commander.
Bob's 100% right, because there's been Modern Master sets where people are like, this is more Commander Masters. There's more Commander cards in here than there are Modern cards. They've done that multiple times. Commander is the number one.
Bump that with hot take.
I'm going to just agree with your hot take.
Your hot take was throwing gasoline on a fire. What?
I still respect you, TCGDude, but
of course,
people love to look at gameplay and effect on gameplay without any regard to the financial aspects of things. Clearly, that's what just happened with the rules committee, and they got slapped so hard that they don't really truly exist anymore, and it's problematic. And everybody out there that tries to say that game piece army, you won't have a game eventually if it truly becomes that. They'll stop printing it.
Oh man.
Well, I wouldn't put myself quite in the game piece army, but I guess under that logic, that there's a lot of shared space there. I'm a collector as well as a player, but I don't know. A necessary evil is one way you could phrase it.
You know what turns most people into a collector? Everybody starts out as a player. Everybody. I don't know anybody that started out as a collector. I do know almost everybody that I know that plays Magic started out as a player. You know when they turned into a collector?
When the
first
Probably
time
when
they
they
pulled that
started
big-
making money.
The first
with
time,
it.
not making money, but the first time they really started pulling big hits.
Yep.
Right. That's what I was meaning. Yeah, you open a pack and you're like, oh my god, I can sell this, or turn it in and to the LGS and have a PS3 game or whatever the heck, Yeah.
I was this whole time. Holy crap. Jake's got to go. I was going to get on to the chill section of this. We can continue the conversation, but let's go ahead and let first Jake do a little bit of chilling, buddy. Welcome to the roundtable. I hope you feel welcome to come on back.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Oh, this was a lot of fun. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, you can catch me mostly on YouTube. I'm the first Jake, pretty much everywhere. Yeah, come on by. We talk gameplay stuff. I have a lot on getting into the game, how to talk to new players about the game, bring new people in. I have a couple interviews with different people about how they got started and what really hooked them into Magic. I really like the gameplay aspect and the rules aspect of Magic and how expandable it is. So I like talking about that a lot. So yeah, I'd love to come back. This was a lot of fun. Thanks, everybody.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. You're welcome anytime. Just let me know, or I typically have a set list that I send out the links to. So you're definitely welcome back, man. I loved your insight today. Very, very good stuff all the way around. And basically the conclusion of today is we don't have enough information. They don't have enough information because they haven't made it yet. But yeah, it's crazy. I anticipate what they're gonna bring for the next Manic Monday, because apparently they started the trend. So I think next Monday we might have something else to freak out about. Yay! Fill that news cycle leading up into spoiler season for Foundations, because Foundations is going to be a great set.
Foundations is such a turd.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah,
what a bad idea.
Another hot take. I love Foundations. No.
Yeah, shuck it. Welcome back. I know you got to get going, so thank you again for coming on.
Before Jake bounces, I'm just going to say, hey, check out Commander Raids if you like introducing new people to Magic.
Oh, I've been reading through it. It looks amazing. I really want to try it out. I haven't had a chance to yet, but yeah, I probably
poke me in Discord. I'll try to free up some time. I'm kind of a busy guy, but especially for content creators that can spread the words, hit me up and we'll play on Spell Table if you have the ability.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. For sure, bud. And I got your link out there, and now you have one. Anytime you pop in, you can always put that. Can you do me a favor, the first Jake? Can you type something into the YouTube chat?
I can do that.
Yeah, perfect. I'll get you a wrench, so you can, when it comes to your shill part, when you come back up, you can just bam, pop it on down.
Okay, cool, awesome. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Nice meeting you.
Great to meet you, Jake.
Take care now. Bye-bye then.
Nice meeting you.
All right, bye.
Go. Whoop, whoop.
There he is. Okay, Jake Rowley. All right, next I am wrenching him, and then I'll get to the next person. Yeah.
Good dude.
All right.
I like him.
Yeah.
All I can say is Hillbilly talked too much during the stream.
Yeah, I know. Hillbilly says, I'm just here for the shill, bro. What's up? Shill, baby, shill.
All righty. 675 subs where I'm at. And that's awesome. And still trying to get to that 1,000. And I usually do arena streams every day at 9 a.m. and then again at 2 p.m.
Nice.
Come check with arena streams if y'all want to.
Yeah, definitely go over and get talk to him live. You can play him live. You can play him right on the spot. Go check out our show. Hillbilly's awesome, and I love it. Shillbilly, yee. All right, brother. Stay awesome. All right, Mono.
Yeah, I'm one half of Mad Magic TV. We're on YouTube. That's the primary place we are. We're throwing up videos every week. We talk about all things, but with always a financial slant to it and the collectability of the game. So if there's rules changed or anything coming up, we'll kind of talk about what's going on with that. Got some really cool picks. My partner Jay Thalid is always coming up. You can really spot cards that are gonna shit in price. Sorry, DJ, or really go up in price. We're just talking about Zur the Schemer in one of our latest videos. He's gone up 800%. This Dustmore stuff is really cool. So tune in when you can. We try to be as efficient as possible. That's a lie. We try to be as entertaining as possible. But if you really care about what's going on with your cards, we really focus on that part. Because if you keep getting taken to the cleaners, you're not going to stay in the game for very long. So thank you again, DJ, for having us today. It's great to meet all these new people. Definitely going to Vegas. Got a few more shows, I think, with all of us before that happens. So, we'll see you next week.
Oh, yeah, for sure, buddy. Yeah, glad to have you, man. Tortoise. Showmaster Zero back in the house. Welcome back, man. A little bit. Yeah.
Right. So every day I have a morning show at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time called In the Shell Morning Coffee with Superfast Tortoise and Friends. And there's a group of us that just gather around at 11 a.m. every morning, just chat, chill, have fun. There's usually a topic. We have a good time. Every week, like not this week because the internet's being fixed. But every week we got from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we do Commander. Spell Table Commander on my channel. I'll do a game of Commander in Discord. So if you go over my channel, hit any video that's been live, there'll be a link for Discord in there. Join the Discord if you want to jump in on the live, or if you want to hang out with us in the morning. Be on Discord. I shout out everybody to want to join the live. It's fun. We have a great time. And that, my friends, says come over, hit that like button on those videos, hit that subscribe button, become a part of the creep. Thank you for your time.
Hell yeah. Bob, I know you don't like to shill, but Cardboard Odysseys, what do you guys got going on over there?
I say words.
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 Yeah, right. You're all like, no, the important thing to shill, of course, and we haven't had a chance and haven't heard it the whole stream. Oh my God.
Carl! 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 Carl!
That
was all 4 Carls for you, Bob.
Wow.
But shill, baby, shill. Let's go.
No, that's it. I don't like shilling. People,
yeah.
come check us out if you want to. Check out Commander Raids if you haven't. That's it.
Yeah. All right. Fair. All right. TCGDude. Shill.
Yo, what up, everybody? I'm Alex, the TCGDude, a casual yet passionate Magic player, out here keeping the flame lit. So on my channel, you will find a Magic parody called My Hand. Nice 2-minute funny haha song. Something akin to Weird Al or MTG Remy. Otherwise, you'll catch me on shows like this and Superfast talking about Magic and Magic culture. If you're interested in getting some Magic that's maybe a little bit non-traditional, if you don't mind sharing, please, I'm presenting over here, DJ.
He's presenting.
So I got a Japanese core set box battle series going on right now. 2014 has been cracked and cards are ready to be listed and sold. So next up, we got 2013. So pretty much the drill. 6 seats. Each seat's going to give you 5 packs, and we're battling for an extra 3 packs, high-low CMC, and it's $30 out the door, okay? So that's going to be shipped to you, no issue. I do PayPal or Cash App. I'm going to throw a link in the chat with the Discord channel associated with that if you're interested. So yeah, man, I love Magic. I love talking about Magic, trying to play Magic. And in the future, I'm looking to do 1v1 tabletop streams. I have a test stream basically done last Friday where me and my old lady opened a Duskmorn bundle, Mystery Booster 2, and had it sealed / draft style and had a lot of fun. She ended up, I won't say that how that ended out, but yeah, if y'all want to check that out, that'd be awesome. Thanks, DJ.
No problem, buddy. All right, we got KJ Cowboy Dan.
Hey, howdy, hey, boys and girls. How you doing in Chatland today? I just want to point out that for a good majority of the show, Mono was in the Alice seat in the dead
Alice?
center. The
Oh,
Alice seat. You remember the Brady Bunch?
Oh, oh yeah. Oh,
Mono
it
was
just
in the
shifted.
Alice seat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, it shifted. Okay.
Cowboy Dan,
For
you're
a
a
good
young guy, clearly. Yeah.
Yes, I'm clearly young. There's a reason why the only part of me left is a head that they can put in the jar. So make sure that you give this video a like. If you haven't, hit that little thumbs up. Also, if you haven't already done so, I know you guys want to subscribe to the channel. And while you're at it, give everybody else who's on the show today a little subscribe as well. They would greatly appreciate it. My name is KJ Calbadan. I have been your karaoke host. Joking. No, I'm just a guy sitting here talking about things he doesn't know anything about. And if you want to continue watching me say things that I don't know anything about, come and visit me tomorrow, where I'm going to be hanging out with Investable Collectibles on both Twitch and YouTube for two heads, one mic.
Nice. Well, if you can post that link to his channel, it'd be great. All right. All right, I think we got to everybody. Thank you guys for watching. My shill is the 19th. We're doing other squirrel games. We didn't really get it coordinated too well this last time, but I'm going to try to have some games. I might do a game for 570 MTG. He happens to have this up on his Facebook right now, and we still need to get some funds to get the giveaways coming from MagicCon. So I'm trying to raise up funds. He's chipped in this. I'm not sure if you guys can see it too well, but we got a core, Iconic Masters 25, 2 packs, some pins, stickers, and he actually custom made these card dividers. They're really cool. Anyways, he's doing, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Raz, but if you're not sure, just hit me up in private. I'll tell you all about it. But basically, we're down about 26 seats left to close this out. And you do get, if you do win, you get to jump in and get all of this, cracked or not, up to you. But we'll also have some other games going on and fun stuff. Part of the proceeds goes to me being able to pick up some giveaways coming from Las Vegas MagicCon. So I want to come back as Santa. That's the goal. But unfortunately, things have been rough, guys. So we're trying to add to that pool. Jump in on that. That's going to be the 19th. For the giveaway, it's supposed to be yesterday that I did the drawing. However, you guys have an extra day around 5 p.m. tomorrow. Or actually, I'm sorry, 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Cut off on all the giveaways. I'm going to actually have a stream tomorrow at 4:20 Pacific Standard Time. So that's 7:20 for your East Coast heads. Do tune in. I think I put the link up here with the explanation because I went nuts on that pinned comment, because we actually have 2 other giveaways on the channel. So go check this out. Make sure you didn't miss out. Go watch it, do the thing, get in and own it. We're going to have spin out for everything tomorrow. And the box should be coming in shortly thereafter. So if you're not in, go get in on it. Of course, we do this show every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time start. Come check it out. We're always talking about something with Magic with everyone else here, of course. And then, of course, Sundays for late night EDH. 10:20 Pacific Standard Time. If you got a deck, you got a rig on the system here, hey, hit us up. We're always doing games every Sunday, super late. So there you go. It's not just a moniker. But yeah, definitely go check out all these lovely people on the panel here. You guys are all awesome. Thanks for hanging out and chatting. A lot of stuff to process still with these bannings, man. It's so crazy. But, we like to have both sides of the argument. I think we did pretty good. We had some pros. We had some cons. There you go. I think we did good.
Yeah, did good.
We did
anything else you guys did well? My bad. Good Lord.
Yes.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Small moves,
right.
people. Small moves.
Yeah, small. Well, we're going to go ahead and head out. Feel free to stay, guys. Talk for a minute. But I'm gonna go ahead and peace out here. Thanks for watching. Do smash the like, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. It does help us out a lot. So with that, I'm gonna say bye.